A pleasant day to all of you, particularly researchers, potential writers, published and non-published materials. But I would like to talk about on this video the guidebook for research writing in graduate school. This video aims to train graduate students in various fields, particularly research writing, thesis writing, or dissertation. Somehow, the students look very difficult on how to start. But this time, this simple video aims to train students on how to start with this kind of challenge and how to encourage them to adopt this suggestion given to this video to the respective disciplines. The content or contents focus on the Commission Higher Education curriculum recommendation for graduate schools. It is connected with research agenda of the Commission of Higher Education so that there will be no duplication or even replication of those descriptive, normative researches found in the library all over the Philippines or even in the online libraries, e-libraries. This video would also improve students' management abilities, allowing them to become better users of both quantitative and qualitative researches, in particular with experimental research. Because nowadays, government, especially the Department of Science and Technology, would like to encourage all researchers to focus, to concentrate on the science and technology agenda and other interrelated fields of science and technology so that the government can funds give allocations for this agenda in research writing. Now the first one of this video we will discuss here the how to differentiate research from scientific method. Research as an inquiry with almost identical meanings, both in investigative activity in which information regarding a subject is pursued. Now, what about scientific method? Scientific method implies the different stages in order to arrive a certain conclusion to answer the hypothesis. Still, you need investigation in scientific method because this is a logical approach to solve scientific problems. Generally, we can also include researches, topics in research that are good, that are novel, original, not replicated or even duplicated, but scientific in nature. Now, when you say inquiry based learning, in science, you have what you call discovery approach. Okay? You discover something using experimentation. This method encourages the students to participate in the learning process instead of talking, lecturing, or even dictating what to do, but the students themselves can lead to the arriving of the solution, that is inquiry based learning. We need in the search writing this type of learning, inquiry based learning. In science, there is another method which is called inquiry method. Aside from discovery method, we have also inquiry, investigative method in short. Therefore, if you get back everything, research as a process, scientific method, you have that inquiry ability. Now, there are four inquiry based learning. The first one is confirmation inquiry. From the word confirm, what do you confirm? How do you confirm? The students are given a query, an explanation, and a process for obtaining the answer. Learners utilize analytical thought and analysis skills to understand how this approach functions. Are you familiar with higher order thinking skills? Higher order thinking skills. This is how to confirm because the students uses the student uses the skills on a higher level because science you need thinking process. You don't manifest in using science without this thinking skills. Okay? Next, open inquiry. Students pose original questions, investigate them using their own approach, and address their conclusions in a discussion format to expand their knowledge base. Open. Are you familiar with student teaching or more student are better to open the questions so that to themselves arrive the correct answers. And it is better more heads than one. Remember? Because three or more heads are better. You can open, you can collect some knowledge, some skills from other students. So at least five or more to gain insights on this particular inquiry based knowledge, inquiry based learning process. Another structured survey. Okay, from the word survey. And then later on, the students now agree on the accessible topic, accessible information, particularly, yes, using technology. Because that is structured. They have already the pattern, format. They have already the basis. That's why it is structured. How about driven? Students gather in groups to build. This is also the simultaneous inquiry-based learning of open and driven. Because if you open questions to the students, to the learners, they can drive answers among themselves so that they can have one, the most correct answers. Everything is correct, but what is the most close to the correct answer? Then later on, the teacher will criticize analytically so that the answers of those students driven by this inquiry method can give you a highlights on what particular answer is acceptable scientifically or analytically. That is driven inquiry. Research is a systematic approach to a problem that employs all available resources to arrive at the most important assumptions and generalizations typically based on empirical evidence. Because there are research that are only descriptive in nature. What does it mean? After you describe something, whether it is novel or original or unique topics, they are just the description. But if it's experimental, you can continue the study even if the study was made 10 years ago because you can replicate also as long as it is experimental in nature but not descriptive survey or is of course it depends, but basically if it is descriptive you cannot replicate. The only thing that you do is to replicate. Okay. Now, among the characteristics of research, one was already mentioned in the previous definition of research, typically based on empirical evidence. Thus, descriptive research has empirical evidence, is still descriptive, but an experimental, you need testing, you need experimentation to confirm, again, to confirm this is true, if it is valid or reliable research. Somehow, we can use also problem solving research or problem oriented research. Okay? Because later on, the student, future researchers will not reject the findings of that research if it is very fashionable. When you say fashionable, it is just like available in the corner. But if it is experimental design, you cannot easily get the answer because you have to perform the experiments, the yes, the testing. You need to confirm. For example, in the Philippines, you need to go to Department of Science and Technology to confirm your experimentation. What else? Okay. So basically, what is the purpose? What are the purposes of research? Exploratory. What does it mean? You explore something, you experiment, and you experience the errors in research. Okay? How about descriptive? You just collect, focus on the description and the condition, usually sort of categorical system and known as descriptive categories. Explanatory, and this is also the causal research. While, of course, the qualitative and the quantitative approaches of research will also depend the variables and the different, you know, categories based on your previous or future research. Okay, this is all. This is the first video for research writing. I will make another video for on this research process. Good luck and thank you.